That's the biggest
Where the
business
wind
spring
is,
rodeo, which is a big
a lot of
deal.
underbrush.
Good morning, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please rise for the flag salute. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning and welcome. Item 3, any citizens desiring to be heard? Nobody fine. Item 4, consideration of possible action on minutes of March 14th and 17th of 2025. So moved. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. 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 All opposed, motion carries. Item 5, consideration of possible action on final plat of Indian Ridge, section 5, 36 lots in the southeast quarter of 2915 north 1 west. How's Dan? Doing good. How you doing?
There's no more.
Got them all sold? How's it going?
Not all of them. Yeah, I have one. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Stickies on underneath.
Okay.
I moved that we approved the plat.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. 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 All opposed? Motion carries.
Yeah, and make sure when they file it, they hit that. But. You need to test it, because it's notarized, really. Oh, shit, okay.
One of those orange
Says she'll hold it. I didn't know.
Oh, I see it.
Not today.
I,
Put her there up. Button truck.
I'll give you that.
Not on camera.
Okay, you know the routine.
Thank you. Appreciate it, y'all. Dan, good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck. Item 6, we have following seal pier, consideration of possible action on ordinance.
So the first one is for the Craig Fire Department. We received 2, one from J&J Custom Fire. It's a no bid.
Well,
We received one bid from Blanchett Manufacturing. Oh, I got it to go. They wrapped it in plastic. All their affidavits are signed and in place. And there's your bid sheet.
$97,992. Wanna come up and look at it, Greg?
Yeah.
You can take it back here and look at it if you'd like.
Second bid is for Marshall Fire Department. We did receive a Priority Express. I'm assuming it's for Marshall. It is not properly labeled, therefore it will be rejected for not following the requirements of the bid packet, which say the outside envelope has to be labeled. I am gonna open it just to make sure that that there is a Marshall bid in it, but it wasn't identified.
Well, I was gonna open it.
Well, because I need to know how to reject it. And it didn't even include an envelope inside, so this is from Redline Fire Equipment, bid rejected, failure to follow the specifications. Bid from J&J Custom Fire. Their affidavits are in place. Nobody is here from Marshall today. They request the board to review them and table if possible. Bid from Banner Fire Equipment.
Who was it? J&J?
J&J.
J&J bid $99,750.
This bid is from Banner. Their affidavits are in place.
$127,450.
This bid is emergency fire equipment.
And this is just an apparatus to be installed on a,
In both of these bids, the fire department is supplying the cabin chassis. These bids are to build, I think they're brush pumpers, but their specs are done a little differently. Each truck is being built just a little different from the other based on the fire department. But the fire departments are each furnishing the cabin chassis.
what do you think, Green?
We'll take that one, it's the one and only.
500 gallon.
Hmm?
500 $5,500. $5,500 cash. Yeah. I don't hold that.
And this is emergency fire equipment, their affidavit are complete.
I got the two or seven.
I believe that's a 7.
$117,995.98. So Chris, it is here, and they recommend we go with this bid.
Well, I'll make a motion based upon Crescent Fire Department's recommendation that we award the bid to, what's the company name?
One check.
And on the other one, we tabled
Let's do 2.
two separate. I'll second the first.
We've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion on Crescent's bid? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion carries.
Based upon the recommendation of Marshall Fire Department, I move that we table for their review, their bid.
We're gonna acknowledge also, if you would, that the bid of Red Line is rejected, failure to follow specs.
With red line failure to follow the procedure,
Yep.
it's rejected. I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carried.
You want these back, Troy?
7, consideration and possible action on making additions or deletions of the CIRB plan for fiscal year 2026, 2031.
You want that moved?
I can, thank you though.
For the folks that don't know, this is Allison. She is our CED manager.
Allison Enright.
Enright, yeah, Allison Enright. What is it on that?
Good morning, and thank you for your time. So I believe you have before you the proposed Logan County 5-year SERB program allocation plan for 2020, fiscal years 2026 through 2031. The 5 years would be 2026 through 2030, would be what ODOT would program in their 5-year plan. Now, what, at our CED board meetings that we meet at each month, what we have reiterated every month is, unfortunately, there is just not budget or funds again this year to add new projects unless you are going to move an existing project or push one back out of the program to add a new project. We had Luther Road in District 2 this past year that came in about $1.1 million over the program amount. And then we had 2 projects out of fiscal year 2025 that rolled over from 2025 into 2026. So because of those 3 things, the Luther Road project coming in over the programmed amount, and the 2 projects that are rolling over into the upcoming fiscal year, that's just a domino effect into the budget for this fiscal year. So where we would like to add new projects, unfortunately, again this year, we just won't be able to. Hopefully with the 2 bills that are being proposed, and from what I hear, they are passed so far, and they hopefully will continue to pass, we will have additional funds next year to add those, plus being able to catch up again. Next year, I would like to add projects. So as your agenda item reads, if you're wanting to remove or add, you can do so, but you will be doing so in removing something that is existing in your plan. That is the only way we will be able to budget that project.
Allison, I got a question on the Waterloo project.
Yes, sir.
How come there's no funding in this column?
So that was an ODOT decision. It was not a CED decision. And with discussions with the department last week, I was able to clear some of that up after the fact, but they were under the impression that Oklahoma County had pulled out of the project. I had met with Commissioner Charlie, and I had met with Commissioner Davison at ODOT last year, and we were all on board. In fact, at that time, I thought ODOT was on board. And then we rebalanced. I had the project in, and whenever that, I present a balance plan. ODOT has to give me the opportunity to present a balance plan, and then I turn that into them, and then ODOT can make changes after that. My plan is not the final say-so. They make the final say-so, and they make changes after that if they don't agree with what I present. And the project manager at the time, she was no longer that project manager in that position now, did make changes to the plan, and made several changes to the plan. She actually pulled the federal funds from the road after I presented my plan. To prevent that this year, I have actually set up a meeting next week with the new project manager, so that we can go over what I am going to propose to them as our 5-year plan, to give her the opportunity to, look at it and tell me if she agrees with it or disagrees with it. That way we're not surprised.
But you're
Again,
no longer dealing with the same individual.
correct. She is now in another CED. And also to prevent that, I met with her at the beginning of Rebalance, and we went over every single, that was another thing with the previous project manager. I never made it past 1 year in the 5-year plan. When I met with our current project manager, we went through every single project in the plan, and she told me then at that time, I think this one might maybe need to move out in the plan. And we kind of agreed or disagreed on that, and we discussed it and came to an agreement at that time, and I notated it in my notebook.
Now, what we have today, just serve projects.
Yes,
Now, what's to prevent us to adopt a 5-year plan that includes these projects plus others that may or may not have a JP number? Because there's more than one place to get money. This is just one.
are you speaking of ACOG? Or
Possibly ACOG, possibly in-house. If that's what that fourth amount of money's for.
So, in another county, we have 2 projects in the plan, and they are seeking ACOG funding. We have them in the plan so they can develop, because ACOG funding is not, it's not a given. You may get it or you may not get it. You are very aware of that. So it's in the plan, and if they get the COG funding, then it'll go off the plan, and with the projects behind it will advance forward. So I always encourage you to have a plan, and we can always deepen your plan.
But they won't allow us to have another JP number on the served money. When I say
So
they, I mean ODOT.
we can add projects to this, and we can scope it, and it may not get a JP, and it just won't be in your planned years, is what it'll do. I can put it on here. Canadian County has a very large plan on here, and it's just, it may not come within your planned years, is what it'll do. And what a lot of counties do is they use their own funds to do the pre-construction and develop their project in case it can come into the plan. You can use your own county funds to do the pre-construction. You can be reimbursed everything but your engineering by CERB. If you just want to.
If there's money there.
Yes, well, yes. And I would say that once we add it, eventually it's gonna be there. It's just when we add it to there. And we're allowed to program over a certain percentage. It's just right now, $1.2 million you have to admit, that is a significant amount, and that impacts your program quite a bit. And then when the federal hold, that was, you know, that's a pretty rare thing. You don't, I mean, we got 4 years, who knows if that happens again. And then railroad right now, that's a pretty significant impact on our projects too. That's why one of those 2 projects from 2025 rolled over into 2026. We were at the finish line and the railroad said, we want a brand new line in there, and we were paying for the entire thing. And that impacted us significantly. So there are a lot of things right now that just fell into place that went against us. Economy is not good. So I wouldn't say this is gonna be all the time. It's just right now.
You see, we need to have projects on the shelf in case other counties, regardless of whether they're in ODOT 4 or not, if they fall off, we're ready to slide right in place.
Absolutely. I always encourage that. I always encourage shelf. Just know that if you use your own funding, you will not get reimbursed engineering. Engineering will be out of your pocket. That is an expense you are paying for that you will not get back. You can get back right away. You can get back utilities. You cannot get back engineering.
So what do we need to do to get this Waterloo project kicked off? I mean, we've been dragging this, kicking the can down the road
Yes.
for a long time.
So I have asked Commissioner Miles Davidson of Oklahoma County to write a letter of commitment, because that is what ODOT believes, is that Oklahoma County has pulled out of this, and without both counties committed, they say it's not a go.
But I
And-
called him out direct in a meeting, Miles, and that previous project manager was in that meeting. She knows full well he said yes, that he wants that project to happen.
If I can, we actually have signed project agreements between Oklahoma County, Logan County, and ODOT. Now, the agreement from the standard was tweaked, approved by the attorneys to allow a pullout, but we still have those signed agreements. But we've been carrying Waterloo with a $3 million commitment on our SERB plan, and now it's just zeroed. So if that $3 million has been a factor from the years that we've put on SERB,
Where'd it go?
where is that now?
So the SERP program, unless it is allocated every single year, it's not a rollover. And we were discussing it last week. I thought it was a county match. So the $3 million is not a county match, it's a SERB match.
It's been on our SERB fund that we have submitted for a decade.
So-
Well, maybe not quite that long, but a long time.
Again, unless it is reallocated every single year by ODOT, it is no longer. And as of last year, when ODOT finalized their rebalance and programmed the book and published it, Waterloo was not in the program. So that $3 million is no more.
Well, I find that interesting because that information, unless it went to one of you individuals, Floyd, you wouldn't have been here.
I'll recall.
We've not received anything that said, ODOT kicked this $3 million out, go figure something else out.
Yeah.
We haven't received anything that says the programming resolution or the project agreements and contracts that were entered are null and void. Every year that we've turned in a third plan, since this first started, $3 million for Waterloo's been there. Until I saw what you sent me and it was zero, and I asked you, why is it zero? Because we've kept it there.
They shortened it, and I've lobbied 2 or 3 occasions. We have plenty of time to get the right of way to go ahead and go back up the whole mile section. But ODOT's like, well, you previous commissioners couldn't get along here and down there, and they said, no, you missed that window. So now
I just
you're
find
on
it
the-
interesting, ODOT's making this decision, but have not formally notified this county of these changes. Not of kicking out a contract that's been signed and entered from either county. I just find
It's with
it
ODOT.
troublesome.
They're the middleman. ODOT's actually the one that blessed the county's participation in this.
Well, the original plan, going back to the very beginning, was that mile needed to be done because of the interchange. ODOT said, we will pay for your design and engineering. because we gotta be out there for the interchange. You two counties take care of utilities right away and construction, but we will cover laying out all the design. That's where this started all those years ago.
It's my understanding then, one commissioner, one county pulled out of it. And then at that point, the state side, ODOT, that project had to proceed and move forward because they could not wait for a county project to make a decision and commitment, and they moved forward.
One county with a different commissioner at the time said they didn't want to move ahead. But it was pointed out that there are contracts signed and in place, and they needed to submit something in writing, not only to ODOT, but to us, because it was a joint project. And nothing in writing has ever been received. I mean, if you go through documentation, those contracts are still there.
Would something, and I'm just trying to conversation, but, you know, ODOT looked at it, doing their interchange, and then the counties was the extensions, and ODOT looked and said, we're not seeing any movement out of the counties toward moving forward, so we're just gonna go by ourselves.
My point
And
is,
then-
if Oklahoma County chooses to pull out of doing that 1 mile section, then they need to put it in writing to ODOT and to us, because we have project agreements in place.
Ma'am, they're not choosing to do that. What I've stated is that Oklahoma County Commissioner Davidson has stated that he is committed to it, and that I have asked for a letter of commitment from him for ODOT, because they are under the impression that he has pulled out.
Okay.
To follow up what I was saying is I think at this time it would be beneficial for two things. One of those being that Logan County get with Oklahoma County and sign a joint resolution that says this is what we are interested in doing moving forward. The second would be that you have never received any official notification. Can ODOT explain to us, the county, what happened to that $3 million? Can you reauthorize that $3 million since we never did receive authorization?
So my question, Alex, I'm not trying to be difficult, it's just there's steps in play. But if this board were to take action to approve the plan as you submitted, then they're accepting this $3 million being pulled from that project. I mean, that's just the way it would appear. And until we get absolute formal drill down on what is happening, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it would be
And-
difficult. I mean, they can sign what they want, I'm not telling them what to do, but I think it's a consideration.
Unfortunately, that $3 million's already been pulled, is what I'm telling you. That $3 million is not there. That $3 million was pulled prior to this plan. It's no longer allocated to it. And so what my suggestion would be, let's sit down, and maybe we need, Bobby has a great suggestion. I have a letter of commitment coming from Oklahoma County. Let's get a letter of commitment from Logan County. And let's sit down again, because all of the players that were at that meeting, other than Commissioner Davidson, all of the players that were at that meeting, and myself, that were at that meeting with ODOT are no longer in place. We have a new commissioner for Logan County. We have new players in place for the ODOT. Literally 2 people that were at that meeting are the only people there, and they were at least 6 to 7 people.
So, and I'm seriously asking, the project agreement resolutions that were done on this project in the original, because ODOT chose to pull it off, not notify anyone, we just tore those up, they're no longer have any validity or to them at all? And if that be the case, then I need a letter from ODOT that states that.
I would need to read your project.
If I could, I was also a county commissioner during that time.
That's fine.
And here's the thing, the Region 4 engineer Trent January was aware of this issue, and was aware that the Oklahoma County Commissioner was making noises about not wanting to support that. But there was never an official notice given to him or to this county that Oklahoma County had intended to pull out of that. Never happened. It never happened.
See, and
Now,
I
I
would need to.
did, may I?
Sure.
Okay. I was the District 2 County Commissioner that was at the Planning Team meeting down at ODOT for any kind of changes to that. Kevin County was the commissioner. My name is Mike Pearson. And Kevin County was the newly elected county commissioner in District 3 of Oklahoma County. Okay, and so we went through everything, and then there at the very end, he says, "But you're not getting any funding from me. I have more important projects down the county to serve more people, so I'm not gonna fund anything on that." And that's the only notification that I'm aware of between me and ODOT during that period of time. If there was a letter from the commissioner then to ODOT, I was not made aware of it, nor was anybody on the commission, including the other commissioner back here.
Allison, when do we need to have this plan approved?
I need it no later than next week, because I will have to proceed with or without your approval.
Well, I don't think you're gonna get an approval today, I mean, unless one of these guys make a motion.
Well, I believe the way your agenda item is written is that you cannot approve it, and that's the discussion that
This was
Joy and I
just-
had last week.
So the idea was for you all to be able to discuss it, make any changes, deletions, have questions, whatever. And what came out of here would be, she was going to redo her ledger to go on next Monday's meeting for approval of a plan.
So the-
I'm thinking, I've been hearing that we might be pulling off this District 2 bridge, is that
Yes.
correct?
We will be pulling the 33722, and we will be adding a new bridge, the idling, we'll be replacing that bridge. We'll be pulling it from the plan, it'll be placed in 2050 until they get started construction. So it will not be canceled, it'll just be placed in an out year. And then a new project will be placed in that we have just scoped.
Is the highway, are they willing to accept the engineering that's already been paid for?
They have started, they have received plans, they've received everything that I have on file from ODOT. And they've looked at it and they've chosen to just proceed with what they have. They are pretty outdated, what ODOT has. And so they've chosen to just proceed with what they've got going. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, you started by saying you couldn't add anything, but now you just said we're gonna add a bridge.
He is replacing something that is existing.
Okay, but when you and I spoke last week, we were not taking this off until after we had paperwork with the tribe in place.
It is going in 2050. And he is putting something in its place on the 5-year plan.
So what are you putting in there? What do you want to put in?
Well, I haven't got any paperwork back or any numbers back yet, but the 2 half-mile sections that are on Simmons Road between Midwest and I-35, there's 2 half sections in there that are not paved. Everything around it's paved, so I got that on there. And then the secondary would be Douglas between 33 and 105.
But she just said adding a bridge.
No, she didn't mean adding a bridge. She meant adding a project and removing that bridge.
Okay.
So can we add that today?
I can, according to your agenda item, you can add, yes, you may add. Sorry.
But I don't have any numbers back.
Floyd, he's supposed to get it to me. I will be adding your project to this list.
Which
I
one?
expect it soon.
Which
What-
one?
What one do you want?
It,
Well, the first one is the south end down there, so.
you would prioritize the first project.
Right,
And
Simmons.
that's what I plan to add.
Okay,
So it's Simmons between Sooner and Midwest?
yes, there's
You
about
have
a mile.
something beneficial to add?
We met on Monday to scope, to look at which ones he specifically was talking about, visited the site. So it's gonna take a minute for us to get her a number, a value, a cost to do that. And that was Monday. So, or day before yesterday, yes,
We met Thursday.
yeah, that's Thursday, I'm sorry, I get the days mixed up.
Yeah.
But she should be able to move forward and she'll get that number, it takes a minute, but on short notice. So we're gonna add that to the list and pull the other one out.
Troy, what is the latest that you need this updated form.
Well, I can count it as an agenda item. I'll need the form by Thursday.
So do we need a motion to pull this and?
So if I'm understanding correctly, what you would be considering is moving the D2 bridge over Unnamed Creek out to year 2050
No, oh, yeah.
and adding in District 2, a paving project at Simmons Road between Center and Midwest.
Right.
I think that terminology is a little strange.
But it's only a half mile,
We're
so actually,
replacing. We're not adding, we're replacing the one bridge that's currently there in the list. We're gonna replace that with the road.
the project.
You see, we've had a scoping out on, a box out on Meridian, but yet we haven't been issued a JP number
Really?
yet. Not in Meridian.
Oh,
I think we ought to be pressing ODOT to issue you a JP number no matter where it falls.
They won't issue a JP until it falls
So what year did you have my bridge on for construction? 29? You were here for you. Y'all good? Is that what you want?
yeah, that's where,
We're gonna replace,
I'm gonna add about 25 things, but
well, yeah, I got a bunch I'd like to add.
I'd like to get Waterloo Road done myself.
Well,
It's not even in my district, but
me
it's a
too.
nightmare.
Right.
Troy, if you can get me a copy of the resolution, I can look at it. It all depends on how it is worded, but I will say that ODOT has control of the funds, and that is the way the legislation has written it. So,
And I get that part. I'm
if-
just
if I may
saying that
finish.
agreements were done, and if they're not going to be held,
I
we need
understand.
something in writing
I
to explain
understand.
it.
did ODOT
The
sign
way-
the agreement?
that's why I'm asking for a copy of it, because the way, the ones that I have looked at from when I was a project manager at ODOT, most of them are written for controls of the county. That's why I would like to see a copy of it, if I may. That way I can look at it and see what it says is required of ODOT, and then we can go from there. I would just like to look at it so I
I'll
can see
send
how
it
I
to
can
you.
help you.
No, I'll send it to you. My questioning is, ODOT does all this stuff,
I
but it
understand.
never formally comes here. And we've had $3 million on this plan for many, many years, and suddenly it's not there. No option to replace it, since that's the word we're gonna use now, with any other projects. It just poofed away.
I understand, and they're not required of that, because the way legislation is written, they have control of those funds.
That's what
And that
ODOT
may
should
be true,
involved.
but it doesn't make it right.
Here, here.
Once things
So
are
I need a
done.
motion, if that's what y'all want to do.
Now, and this is just a service. I don't see anything wrong with us having our Logan County 5-year plan, include the projects we want, whether there is a funding source attached to it this time or not.
I agree, I mean, I got a plan for District 3, I mean,
Yeah.
I
They
can
would show up.
I can show them in the out years, where you see the last two columns where it shows unplanned years. If you would like to add them, we can put them there. The problem is I need an estimate for it.
50 million.
That's a lot.
For the service.
Yes,
You see, there's still a small allocation, Logan County's not very much, for BR funds. That's still a funded program.
you're talking about federal?
Hmm?
Or your
BR
CBRI?
funds.
Your
Yeah,
CBRI?
but normally we lose because
So-
ours is so low compared to other counties.
I wish I had brought it, and I can send you an email with it. Oklahoma County has, it's very it looks very similar to this, and it shows 1 through probably 10 to 12, but their funding is probably a lot more being that they're Oklahoma County.
Well, I'll just use Floyd for an example. He may or may not have an industrial access. It won't be served funds, it'll be industrial access, but it ought to be on 5-year plan.
We could start let me send you this, Mark, and we can discuss it. We could start something like this for Logan County, and it has all the districts, it doesn't have just one. And it prioritizes one through whatever, and it shows all the funding on it, whether it's federal, CBRI, or SERB. And he actually passes it through his board as well. They have a county engineer, kind of like Tulsa County does.
Yeah.
And it's something that we could start. We are running out of time for this fiscal year rebalance, but it's something that we could look at for next year, if you would like. And we could get it going, and it has all of your.
We're not trying to get difficult.
I believe you. I 100% believe you. We've been up here a while, I believe you. But it's something that might help before the next rebalance.
I just know if we're not aggressive, we're not getting anything.
We'll work, that's why I wanna look at the resolution. I'm not giving up on Waterloo Road. I've been sending emails and trying, okay? I get it. I get both sides. I've been on both sides now, the county and ODOT. I'm the middleman and it's hard. But I think if you look at this spreadsheet, it might help you with what you were talking about as far as CBRI. And it'll help next year as far as what we see here.
Now, I do know there's been a lot of overruns lately with the bids that have been awarded. Things cost more than the estimate 15 years ago.
And I'm kind of afraid what we're about to get into with estimates coming into this next fiscal year. Now, I will say, federal funds have been released. They've passed a continuing resolution, so we're starting to see those. This past month, Payne County had federal funds on theirs, and that project actually came in $1 million under, which shocked me and made me extremely happy. But
See, if we go
so-
statewide with these unders, because there's gonna be some that come under, then ODOT could collect that money all from the state and reapply it to the Waterloo project.
I think you're gonna see, because at that time you didn't see a lot of projects on there, because of the federal problem. And so you were getting good bids at that time. There's kind of it kind of goes and flows. When you have funding issues, you get really good bids on projects. As we have funds released and projects, there's a surge of projects on there, you might still continue to get good bids. But as that pans out, you might see that kind of go up a little bit. So I'm curious to see how that plays out.
Anytime you involve ODOT, the prices go up.
That's true.
It's not a lie. Anytime you see federal funds on a project, prices go up.
Just a fact.
That's
Anytime
true.
you see federal funds.
If they give us that money direct, a lot more projects statewide would be done.
I think if we added a bicycle trail or something, you might get some.
You might get ACOG if you do that.
I think we've talked about it, 2 bicycle trails, 10-footer.
I got a lot of bicycle trails.
30-foot wide bicycle trail.
We have 1,260 miles, which needs to be a bicycle.
So what are we gonna do on this?
I'll make a motion
What's your motion?
that we move those funds to between I-35 and Midwest.
Your motion is gonna be to put 3372204 out to
2050.
2050, and in its place, add Simmons and, did you say Douglas?
No. Between I-35 and Midwest.
On Simmons?
That's the first project. That's the main project, and it's probably the only one we'll be able to do. If that comes in
How come, well, hang on, I'm trying to go to that.
Simmons Road.
He has two roads he'd like to overlay or pave,
Yes.
fairly close together. How come they both can't be the same? Why wouldn't they have to be a separate project? Why
It
can't they?
depends on the funds, on the
No,
budget.
Mark, you're misunderstanding. I-35 to Midwest, there's a half mile between Pine and Midwest,
Mhm.
and a half mile between I-35 and Pine, that I'm gonna pay.
So
Okay.
Mark,
All right.
That's,
So they're
that's the
not-
first project. The second one, if this one came in over that budget, kind of an alternate plan would be Douglas between, 105 and 33.
so Mark, his budget on the, one that we are putting in 2050 is only 810,000, some change. I've given CEC a little bit over that, because we have a little bit of overage in that year. And so that's why, if we can fit both projects in that amount, then we'll try to fit both in. If not, he's got a priority project, is what it is.
So if you would, clarify your motion
Which part do you need?
for me. What are you putting on this, replacing this?
Between I-35 and Pine and Midwest. There's a half mile in each, well, I guess you would say sooner in Pine, there's a half mile between each mile section there. So it's gonna come out to be almost a mile, or maybe a little more.
You could word it that your motion, this is just, I hope this is okay. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but your motion could be you would like to replace that bridge, remove it, and in place of that, you would like to insert the I-35 along Simmons Road to, is it Midwest Boulevard, as project one, your first choice, and maybe an alternative, if the numbers don't come in correctly, that 105 to 33 be your second choice based on funding.
Yes.
I thought that's kinda what I said, but
I need a second.
I'll second.
I got a motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Allison, good luck with that.
About like-
I really would like to get on ODOT
Did you
on this order.
Yes, sir. I will try to set up, I think we need a meeting with the new players, and I will try to get that.
Bobby, we don't have time now.
Well, I was gonna just ask something to defend her, that, maybe that for her to go down to ODOT and talk about this $3 million is have that contract and be able to plead to them your case that, hey, nobody ever told us about taking that money off. We'd like to go into a joint resolution with Oklahoma County saying, yes, this is a priority for us. Can you go back and put that money back in place? And let's move forward based on this, we've documented it today that we both agree, even though words were going
That was the
back
whole
and forth
plan
back
last
then.
time.
You
Item
misworded something.
Consideration
We
of
already have
possible
agreement.
action.
Yeah, but look at that and let her have the power to go down there and express her thoughts.
The health department.
Good, cool.
Thank you.
Now, you don't have to stay, but you're welcome to stay,
I will make the motion to
or you're
approve.
welcome to leave.
I'll second.
I got a motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Item 9, consideration and possible action on a resolution vacating a part of the section line between section 8 township, or 17 township, 19 north, range 2 west, also known as a part of County Road 61 between North Coltrane and North Sooner Road, beginning at the corner and extending east 1/2 mile. I got a 1/2 mile road up there that I need to vacate, and we haven't maintained it in years, and the farmer would like to have it back, so I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
We got a motion and a second, any discussion on this item? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, the motion carries. Item 10, consideration and possible action on resolution disposing of the 2009 Dodge Charger VIN number ending in 632785 by donating to Cotton County Sheriff's Department.
I'll make a motion.
I'll
Second.
I've got a motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Item 11, consideration of possible action on the resolution establishing a three-way stop sign at the intersection of Anderson Road and Simmons Road.
I'll make a motion.
Question.
No, thank you, we're in business meeting. I'll second Floyd's motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Item 12, consideration of possible action on the retention transportation claim for January and February, an amount of $265.55, and February it's $146.95.
So moved.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, the motion carries. Item 13, consideration of possible action on transferring funds to create a REAP grant fund for Meridian Fire Department.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, the motion carries. Item 14, consideration and possible action on the resolution appointing requisitioning officers for various counties.
I have one for Coyle Fire Department.
I move we approve.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussions on the requisitioning officer? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, the motion carries. 15, consideration and possible action on the resolution appointing receiving officers for various accounts.
One for Coyle Fire Department.
I'll second. Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, the motion carries. Item 16, consideration and possible action on consent agenda items.
Payroll. first.
Stay up slow. You gotta line it up. You stay over here.
Like it's. Have some more cleaners just for you. Allocation of alcohol beverage tax.
Chris, you wanna take a track?
I've been kind of bad lately. I'm gonna go 22-7.
18.
And that will conclude consent.
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, the motion carries. 17, consideration of possible action on claim for payment for March 2025.
They're short. And then you get them.
I move that we approve the claim.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion carries. 18, consideration of possible action on purchase card payment for March 2025 in the amount of $252.
Make a motion, we approve purchase card payment.
I'll second. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion carried. 19, comments, announcements, questions by the Board of County Commissioners or other officers or department heads. Stephen?
I'm glad we got a little bit of rain the other day and may get more this week, starting late tomorrow night into Wednesday, all the way through Sunday, off and on, so.
Well, we appreciate all y'all's hard work out there on that fire and all of our volunteer firemen and other firemen as well. They did a good job.
Grady lived out there a lot.
We appreciate everything y'all do, so thank you for that. Sheriff?
I don't have anything, sir.
Charles? Mark?
I don't have
Floyd? No. I just might mention, it sounds like House Bill 2758 is doing pretty good down there on the subject for lemonade.
anything. Or is on,
Alrighty, anything else? Item 20, consideration of possible action on adjournment. Make a motion. Second. Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?